Hello, viewers, hello, students, and welcome to yet another expert talk on how to prepare for the Karnataka Common Entrance Test, that is KCET 2021. I am Ankush Nayak, the Director of IT at Expert Group of Institutions, and I am very happy to welcome you all to this talk. Uh, More than that, I am extremely happy to have our resource person today, an authoritative figure, I would say. He was my teacher as well, and he is probably one of the best people to talk about how to prepare for the upcoming Karnataka CET. So I'm very happy to welcome uh, Professor Harish Bhat, Faculty of Physics. Sir, welcome to this talk.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you,
Yes,
Ankush.
sir. I hope that you will be, make yourself comfortable and brief our students on how they can prepare and how they can excel in the upcoming exams. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Ankush, for that introduction. Welcome all the students who are viewing this program. And for next 1 hour or so, we are going to talk about how to prepare for the Karnataka CET 2021, and whatever queries or questions that you have, you can post to the number which is displayed on the screen. So before starting as how to go about the preparations, I overall idea regarding this exam, the pattern, the timing, and all the detail I'm going to explain. And let's right. So okay, definitely in offline mode, which is a written test, and the date of exam you all are aware. It will be conducted on 3 days, that is on 20th, 29th, and 30th of August of the next month. And there are four papers in which you need to write the test, four main subjects, which is physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. And then there is one additional paper that will be conducted on 30th, that is exclusively for the Horanadu. That means students who are staying near the borders of the other states. Okay, so that is the Kannada language. That's only for those students, so not for all. And this exam will be conducted on 3 days, that is 28th, 29th, and 30th. 28th, it's biology in the morning session, afternoon it's maths. And morning session it starts, and afternoon session it starts at 2:30. And that same is even on 29th, which is a physics morning session and chemistry in the afternoon. And on 30th, that is a Kannada language test will be there. That starts at around 11:30 a.m. Okay. Now, the number of questions in every paper is 60 objective questions in physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. And there is a 50 question which, and there is no minimum pass mark in PCMB objects, but in Kannada language, you need to score minimum to allow qualify. Now, this is a most important, that is the weightage. The weightage is on an average every year they ask 15 questions from the first PUC syllabus and 45 questions from the second PUC syllabus. That number may slightly vary here and there, but on an average it's a 15 and 45. But if you look at the number here, 15 questions of the first year. So most of the students, they neglect this just because the number is very less. So therefore, those who prepare the first year syllabus very thoroughly, you have an added advantage compared to others, because they concentrate only on the second PUC syllabus. Now, if you ask me the weightage for every chapter, so there is no specific weightage on a chapter-wise basis. Okay. So I can suggest you, that is the chapter where the weightage is given from the board exam point of view, correct? So from such chapter, more question will appear, but there is no particular weightage for each chapter in any of the competitive exams. So you take not only CET, but no chapter-wise weightage. So that's why the topic which has more weightage from the board exam point of view, you can study those chapters more compared to the other. The duration is, total duration is given 80 minutes, in which the first 10 minutes you will get it to fill the details in the OMR sheets. Okay. And then the duration of the exam is 70 minutes. That means within the 70 minutes, you need to complete 60 questions. Okay. So that is the time allotted. So that means you'll get for every question slightly more than a minute to attempt and then complete with the right answer. The marks allotted +1 for every correct answer, and there is no negative added advantage here. Okay. Now this particular exam is conducted so mainly for 6 professional courses, that is Bachelor of Engineering and the Bachelor of Architecture. The merit list or seat matrix is decided by the KE, but the exams which you have to write is not the CET, but the NATA exams or JEE paper 2. So slightly detail of which I'll give you later. Then there is farm science, in which there are a number of courses are there. Then we have Bachelor of Veterinary Science, Bachelor of Pharmacy, and then we have a Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Science. So these are the main 6 streams for which this particular exam is conducted. So first, initial, just the various professional courses and the number of colleges available, so that you'll just get an idea as you can select, which stream, you can think of after writing this particular exam. Now there are about 279 engineering colleges are available only in Karnataka, and you get a chance to select among 48 branches. That is such a huge number of choices you have, correct? And the rank here is purely based on your performance in average of the marks scored in physics, chemistry, and the maths. Now till last year, the student used to write the board exam as well as that is the CET, and the rank was based on the board exam marks score as well as the CET. But this year they are going to consider the performance only in the CET. So that's why your performance in the CET that decides your rank. Now the main branches which normally the students opt correct are computer science or the mechanical, the electronic and communication, electrical, what we call the main branches. Okay, so which normally the students opt, but you have the other branches. Now the students who like biology as one of the subjects and don't want to take the medical stream, then definitely you have biotechnology, medical electronics, biomedical, and bioelectronics, in which biology is one of the subjects. So therefore you can think of these branches which are again. Then some branches which are again picking up, which are not conventional branches, but still they are have again in demand. So silk technology, textiles, polymer technologies, ceramics, and aerospace engineering, aeronautical engineering, marine engineering, automation and robotics, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. Again, here I have not named all the 48 branches. So the branches which normally students prefer, so I have listed those branches. Now, these are some of the important engineering colleges which students prefer. RV College, the K-CET, then NIE Mysore, then University Vishweshwaraya College of Engineering, Milnad College of Engineering, and then Ramaya Institute of MS Ramaya, that is Bangalore. So these are not only the colleges preferred. That doesn't mean that the rest of the colleges are bad, correct? So each and every college, they have their good facilities, and if you want to know more about the college and the campus, you can visit their website. You will get to know the detail of each and every engineering college. Now here, I've just listed 4 engineering branches and their cutoff marks of CET 2020. Now, EC, that is Electronic and Communication, in RV College, in last year exam, the cutoff rank, even after second round, was 486. That means only, and this is, if your rank is only within 500, then you can think of getting a seat in RV College. Whereas in BMS, it is slightly more, which is 1,324, and MS Ramaya 2,000. That means, student, if you just go through this particular rank list, if you want to get into so-called the top colleges with the good branches, your rank has to be score has to be good and the rank has to be lesser the rank, better is your performance. The chance of getting into these colleges are good. And getting 500 rank out of almost 1.5 lakh students, who appeared last year. So this year the number may be more. So therefore you can just see your target. This is the slide which I'm showing here just to make you aware of that. What should be your target? So make sure that your preparation is good enough to get a good score so that you can get the best rank and so that you can get the best colleges with the branches of your choice. Otherwise, you have to be happy with any branch, and that is any left out colleges. So therefore, if you want to get into a particular stream at a particular college, make sure that you're going to prepare good enough so that you can reach that particular college so that you can get a seat in this. Now, if you want to know what are the branches available in a particular college, for example, in MS Ramaya, what are the engineering branches are there? What is the cutoff rounds for the various category? Then for that you can just log cetonline.karnataka.government.in/ke/CET 2020, where you'll get all the information regarding a college, one college, in which what are the branches are there, and then for various cutoff rank, so that you'll get an idea. Moment you get a rank correct, so you get a seat in that particular college, because the cutoff rank more or less remains same almost every year, so it's not going to change much. Okay, so there may be slight changes, but otherwise it remains the same. So that's why. So, and various options in that, one of the option is where they have given the cutoff list, a PDF file is that you can download and you can go through it. So to see what are the branches for the various category. Okay. The Bachelor of Architecture, as you know, CET is not a exam, based on which they are going to allot seat. There are 39 colleges are available, and the criteria is you have to qualify in the National Aptitude Test in Architecture that is conducted by the NATA, and then, or you have, now if you qualify NATA exam, you are eligible to get a seat in any of the engineering colleges which offer this Bachelor of Architecture, or if you qualify and then if you get a good rank in JME and paper 2, then you are eligible to get a seat of again Bachelor of Architecture in NITs. So that's the difference between these two exams. So there are two different exams conducted exclusively for this branch, which is Bachelor of Architecture. And these two exams are mandatory if you want to opt this particular stream. And it's not through the CET, but the merit list after going through this particular performance in the two examination. Okay. I have the various courses, that is a Bachelor of Science course as well as a Bachelor of Engineering, and that includes one of the Bachelor of Fisheries Science also comes under Farm Science. There are about 35 colleges. Here you have to appear for all the 4 subjects: physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. Okay, so your performance in all 4 subjects. That means only students who have the 4th subject are eligible to opt these courses. For example, if your 4th subject is electronics or stat or computer science, you cannot get into any of these branches. So therefore, Farm Science is only for students who have opted biology, and you have to write all the 4 subjects. It's a mandatory, and your performance in CET decides again the rank list for the Farm Science. Then the remaining 3 important courses, which again have a lot of importance. One is a Bachelor of Veterinary Science, for which 3 subjects test, that is physics, chemistry, and the biology. There are 5 colleges are available, and then we have a B.Pharm, which is a B.Pharma, which is a 4-year course, and Pharma D is a doctoral program, which is a 6-year course, and at the end of it you will get a doctorate degree if you opt Pharma D. So that's the difference between the B.Pharm and the Pharma D. And the criteria is either a performance in PCM or PCB. That means so those students who have not opted biology also can uh, try to get into these courses. That is a PCM or PCB, whichever is greater. So they are going to consider the marks performed, that's performance in 3 subjects. PCM better to appear for all the 4 subjects in such cases. And the last one is a Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Science, where again the criteria is based on only 3 subjects. Now this list again is given so that you can concentrate, you can focus on the required subject if you are aiming at joining into a particular professional courses. Okay, and about 8 colleges are available, and each and every branch again is highly in demand. Fine. Now let's get into the main topic, which I was wanted to explain as how you have to go about the preparation. So, but before that, I want to mention what are the reasons why the students normally they score less. Now, one of the reason the students are not serious about the exams at all. Correct. So they take these exams very lightly. They are busy in their own what we call the mobile world, and busy with the Free Fire or the other apps, which they are busy with the social media. So point one, not serious about the exams at all. And the other, no regular studies, because this training we have started for few almost last 2 years back, and few of them they have joined last year, and crash course students again they have started preparing recently. And only when you study on a regular basis, then you get to see a good result. So this is another reason why the students fail to perform well in the CET examination. The distraction. So obviously it's excessive use of the mobile that again are the main distraction. And again in distraction in the other form, basically wasting uh, time and not focusing on the exams. Fourth one, the bad health. So because of your bad food habit, so during the exam some they fall ill, so they don't perform well. That's because of this another reason, which is bad health. Practiced enough questions. So some they prepare for the exam, but they don't practice. So because we have to practice enough number of questions to get good score in the examination. Now, if you overcome all these 5 negative reasons, I'm sure you're going to perform extremely well in the CET examination. So almost 50 days are remaining, students, exactly 50 days, including today's. And on an average, if you 12 hours a day, yes, some must be thinking, how to prepare 12 hours a day. So that's possible. So you have to make it. And from today, if you prepare, 12 hours, I'm demanding 50% of your day. It's a 24 hours, correct, out of which you take even 6 hours for sound sleep. Still, you have 6 more hours left, to relax. So that means 12 hours effectively if you prepare, and if you overcome, all these the negative aspects, which I've mentioned here. So definitely you can perform well. You can score well in the CET examination, and so that your rank will be a better one. So therefore, make sure that you're going to start your preparation. I'm talking about those who haven't prepared yet. Okay, those are not prepared yet. So you can't go back and you can start preparation, correct? But you can start today and you can make a good ending. So that is what I expect from each and every one of you. Now, how to go about the preparation? So point number one, so you must have a very clear knowledge about the syllabus. Now, why I'm mentioning this is because PU board has deleted some of the topics in every subject, that is in all the 4 subjects, correct? So make sure that you know which are those topics that are deleted, because don't waste time preparing on those topics. For example, when you will find all the topics in it from A to Z, in which part of the syllabus is deleted from the CET exam point of view. So that means make sure that you know the new syllabus, which is new syllabus in the sense the syllabus which is assigned, for this particular examination. Okay, some of the topic. Example, again talking about the physics subject. Topics like radioactivity in chapter nuclei is completely deleted. The topic like polarization, entire topic is deleted. So likewise, go through every chapter and then make sure that the topics which are not there, and based on that, definitely the question will not appear for the coming exam. And even by mistake, correct, if they give that question, I'm sure they're going to allot you the grace mark. So, but make sure that you know the syllabus very thoroughly in all the 4 subjects: physics, chemistry, maths, and the biology. And then know your subjects well. When I say subjects, I'm not talking about which subject you have opted. I'm talking about the chapters and the concept that you're going to learn in every chapter. Now, so this is the main key for the preparation. What do you mean by knowing the subject well? See, we have provided very good material, study material, to prepare for the CET, and in which we have deleted all those topics which are not part of the syllabus. So therefore, our study material which is given is way that it's you can study that entire topic that is given in it. Now, what exactly knowing the subject? So first, go through the synopsis which we have given it in detail, everything. So that includes, that can be simple definition, it can be properties, it can be applications. There are plenty of equations are there, various cases. So memorize them. So first you have to start from synopsis. So most of the students, what they do is they start attempting the question without having any idea regarding the concept, regarding the subjects, and then they struggle to attempt. Feel even an easy question is very difficult. They feel that level 1 questions, they feel that this is a level 3 questions, or I'm talking about level 3 means difficult level questions. So first thing what you have to do is go through the entire synopsis in detail, memorize all the equations, and make sure that you are thorough with all the concepts given in all the 4 subjects. Okay, physics, chemistry, maths, and then biology. Okay, and only after revising, then start attempting the question. So therefore, here your preparation of the subject, so that decides how quickly you are able to attempt questions. So if you don't know the theory, if you have no idea regarding the fundamental, the basics, then you will struggle to attempt these questions. You will struggle to complete the questions. Okay, so therefore you have to always start from the concept, study the synopsis. Again, which to study, whether the first year or second year. Now, since the weightage is given for the second year more, you start from the second year syllabus. I'm sure even you all prefer the second year syllabus over the first year, because some of you have completely forgotten even the title of the chapter as well. So therefore, start from the second year syllabus, which is relatively more easier. And once you're done with it, don't neglect the first year, because most of the time very easy questions will appear from the first year syllabus. So first start from the second year syllabus. Again, you can select whichever subject you want to prefer, but I'd suggest it 12 hours. So allot 3 hours for each subject, 3 hours for each subject. Okay, and if you are 3 hours, that is 3 hours for physics, again chemistry, maths, biology, correct. If you are concentrating on only 3 subjects, then you'll get 4 hours for the preparation. So this kind of planning is important on everyday basis. If you allot equal time for all the 4 subjects, all 3 subjects, then you will be able to complete your preparation by the end of almost the 50 days. Okay, so therefore start preparing from the theory. Understood? So theory means that synopsis which is given in every subject. Right. Now you will find these theory or while solving the numericals, we use a lot of mathematics. So you have to be good in your basic mathematics. What is basic mathematics? That includes simple multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, square, square root, cube, cube root. You have to be very good in your basic maths. Root 80 value, root 8 is square root of 80. Yeah, the value is root 81. We know it's 9, correct? So root 80 is slightly less than 9. So therefore the answer has to be, you can write it as, about 8.9. So this is basic maths, correct? If I write 1 by 0.75, so what is that value? 1 by 0.75, you should know the value. 0.75, you write it as 3 by 4. 4 goes to the numerator, 4 by 3 makes it 1.333. See, this is basic maths. Are you clear? So learn all the basic. You have to be good in your basic maths. Then you will be able to solve all the questions at a faster rate, and you'll be able to complete maximum question within that time limit of 70 minutes. Okay. So you have to be very thorough with your mathematical tools, especially in physics. We make use of the mathematical tools. What are these mathematical tools? To solve the numericals, we use differentiation, we use integration, and we use a lot of vectors. So make sure that you are good in all these concepts, correct? Which is useful to make physics question easier. In vectors, again, we have vector addition, vector subtraction, vector multiplication, resolution of the vectors. So these are all basic tools which we use to solve physics questions. So you have to be very thorough with this mathematical tools. Therefore, before you start again attempting, make sure that you are very thorough with these the tools which are used especially in physics. Then, in again, every time I'll be giving the example of the physics, but it's applicable for other subjects as well. But again, in physics, there will be one or two questions based on the graph. So have a very clear idea regarding the graphs, the types of the graph, whether it's a linear graph, non-linear. Again, there is a non-linear, can be parabola, it can be hyperbola, it can be exponential, it can be sine wave, it can be the cosine wave. So you have to have a very clear idea regarding the graphs. So this is also one of the basics which you have to learn, especially from the physics point of view, right? And while preparing, so definitely we have given, a synopsis in which all the points are given, all the equations are given. But while preparing, definitely you'll come across a certain important formula or certain important point, which is repeatedly asked in various questions. So such facts, such points, you can maintain in a separate notebook, and that will be very useful, especially before the exam to revise. Or maintain what we call the formula book, in which all the formulas that you come across in that entire chapter. So maintain a notebook separately for all the 4 subjects, okay? And then that will be a good reference, especially before the examination. So this is how you need to start preparing for the examination. So make sure that study all the concepts very clearly. Concept includes, what I call it as a synopsis, that includes all the points related to a topic. Be sure that you are good in your basic maths. Learn all the basic tools that is required, correct, to solve numericals, and make sure that you are very thorough with the graphical analysis, identifying the graph, and then maintain all the important points in a separate notebook, or maintain a formula book. Now, once you are thorough with the theory, you have to start solving the questions. Solve as many questions as possible. Now, which is the source from which you have to solve? So the first, obviously, the material which we have provided, in which in every material there are more than 500 questions are there of different various level. Detailed answers are given. So start attempting the question, and in case if you fail to analyze, you can refer the answers. There is nothing wrong in checking the answer, but make sure that you're going to see the steps involved. Similar questions appear later. You should be in a position to answer such a question. So therefore, there is nothing wrong in referring the answer in case if you fail to answer, but make sure that you're going to study that particular question. And in case if such similar question later, if it appears correct in the same material, you should be in a position to answer such questions. So this is the most important. Okay. Then I've seen in CET exam, some of the questions are directly picked from the NCERT exemplar. So I can call copy paste. They give the same question, not similar, same question with the same value. NCERT exemplar, refer NCERT exemplar, and again in that there are two categories. Are one question with the single answer, that is single option correct, or one option questions are there, and then multiple option. So that multiple option is for the G8 one. So that's why study only those questions with the single choice as correct. And there are less number of questions are there in every chapter. Okay, you don't find 100, 200. So hardly 10 to 15 questions are there in every chapter. So make sure that before you write exam, you're going to revise questions from the NCERT exemplar with the single answer as the choice. Then this new syllabus was introduced in 2014. So therefore, study last 7 years previous year questions. Okay, so again, what is the advantage of studying? You'll get an idea as which are the topics which are given more importance, correct? Because there is no specific weightage for each and every chapter, right? So therefore, by referring previous year questions, you'll get an idea as what type of questions normally appear. So therefore, do refer previous year questions of last 7 years of the CET exam. I'm talking about exclusively CET exam, not any other exams. Then, once you are done with your preparation, I believe majority of you have completed revising all the topics. You need to write mock test. So we will be conducting mock test once your training gets over. And by writing this mock test, you will learn time management. That is how many questions you'll be able to complete within that 60 or 70 minutes. Whether you are able to complete 30 questions or 35, you can gauge yourself like how fast you are in solving the question. So you will learn this. But as you write more and more tests, so you have to improve. That means there should be a growth in terms of number of questions attempted with the correct answer, not just attempting the question. You may attempt all 60 questions also, but attempting questions with the correct answer. Now that is most important. Then again, you'll come to know so your strength and weakness of the various subjects. In which subject you can perform better when you're writing 3 subjects: physics, chemistry, and maths. In which subject you relatively are getting lesser marks every time. So you will come to know your performance in all the 3 subjects. This also sometimes varies depending on the difficulty level of the question paper. But on an average, in which subject you are relatively scoring lesser. So you will learn that, and then you will get confidence to face the final examination. So one, you will learn time management. You will come to know your weakness regarding the concept or the various subject. So for that, what you need to do is once you take a test, check your score and make a note of it and check where exactly you have gone wrong. What is the reason why you have made mistake? Analyze that mistake. And if at all few questions, if I have failed to answer, revise those topics. The topics, which you have failed, which you have not prepared well, revise those. And again, take another test. So by this method, definitely you can improve your score by writing the mock test. Now, just days before the examination, the students ask, so what exactly that we have to do before the examination? When there are 2-3 days are remaining for the exam. So whether we have to write the test or whether we have to sit and relax and doing nothing, correct? Now, this is my suggestion. First of all, don't skip sleep. So sleep from 6 to 8 hours. Okay, this is important. Avoid outside food. Have a healthy food, prepared at home by your mother. And now I told you to maintain. I told you to maintain a book, correct? So revise from that notebook. Now this is what I suggest. Memorize all the important points, whether it can be chemistry or it can be mathematics or biology, whatever the important points that I've noted, revise them, okay, again and again. So this is what I suggest, rather than writing a mock test. So when 2-3 days are remaining, because there will be enough content, correct, to memorize that. And if you memorize that, it will be very useful, especially to when you write the exam, you'll be able to recall very easily. So that is what I recommend, rather than writing mock test. Okay, it's important. Imagine you have left some topic because of the shortage of the time. Now, don't start or refer a new topic. Just leave it. It's okay, because there is nothing called complete preparation. 100% preparation is, it's a difficult task actually, but you can prepare to the maximum. So if at all you have left some topic, don't start or refer a new topic, especially when 1 or 2 days are remaining. Now, so those 4 points, which you need to remember just before the exam, right? Now, what are the points to remember during the examination? So in the exam hall, important, reach the exam hall at least 2 hours before the time. So this year, because of the this COVID protocol, so there will be again use of the sanitizer or the checking the temperature. This procedure they will follow for each and every student. So that may take a lot of time. And if you reach the exam hall, correct, late, then because of the anxiety, you may not be able to perform your best. So that's why reach the exam hall at least 2 hours before the time. Okay, so this is my suggestion. Then when you start attempting the question, correct, so you may find few questions hard, correct. You may not be able to solve of 1 or 2, 3 questions, or maybe even 5 questions. So don't panic if you find few questions are difficult. Even if 5 questions are difficult, there are 55 questions more, okay, which are definitely from the topic which you have prepared it. So that's why don't panic, even if few questions are difficult. Okay, then moment you read a particular question, you can read the pulse. Pulse means you'll be able to recall, that you have seen this question somewhere, and this is the question which are familiar, and that will come to know it's a familiar, non-familiar question. If it is a not familiar question, then just skip that question. Don't waste much time to solve such a single question. You can come back, maybe in the second round, and you can try to attempt it, but don't waste to solve such question which is not familiar to you. Okay, you can skip that. You can go for the next question. Then you have to minimize paperwork. Now, what exactly minimizing paperwork? That is, wherever you need to write any formulas, correct? So please, a formula, recall the formula and then do the substitution. Because if you write formula, correct? Imagine out of the 60 question, if there are 40 questions with the formula, and if you start writing, correct, you'll be wasting time writing, and that can be minimized. So recall the formula, and in the paper there, right, in the question paper where there is a space provided, do only the calculation part, and then go ahead and so that you can minimize the paperwork. You will save a lot of time, so that you can use that to attempt maximum question. Do not solve questions in detail. See, in some of the question, the scientific notation is already fixed. 2.5 into the power minus 4, 3.4 into the power minus 4, 2.6 into the power minus 4. When the scientific notation is already fixed, you don't have to waste the time solving that scientific notation. Focus only on the numbers which are given. Then you'll be able to solve them at a faster rate. I hope you understood what I'm trying to explain here. Then, as I've already mentioned, avoid writing the formula. That saves a lot of time and you can attempt more questions within the time limit. And then, most important, as you read the question, underline the keywords. That can be data given, that can be some information given, correct? The doubles, changes, increases, decreases, correct? All these words you underline. Incorrect statement, correct statement. If you underline, very easily you can refer those data, and that saves again time. Otherwise, you have to search, because after reading the entire numerical, you won't be knowing where exactly that data is actually. So that's why underline such keywords. It will be very useful. Again, that takes a lesser time to solve a question. So this is again another important point which you have to remember, especially during the exam. Okay, and then approximation in calculation. I'll give an example later. You'll understand what exactly this approximation is about. So this is what you need to remember, especially when you are writing, during exam. Fine. And then fill OMR sheet effectively. So that also I'll show you with a copy of the OMR sheet. Now, as you go through the questions, so we can categorize all these questions into three: easy question, moderate, and difficult. Now, there's no specific number, it depends on the paper setter as how many questions he or she is going to frame, like easy, moderate, or difficult. But there will be, on an average, these three category of questions. And you have to first complete, easy questions of the entire paper, easy questions, which is, a direct, it can be theory based or it can be memory based. The moderate questions are one where you have to do direct substitution, where you just recall a formula, do the substitution, you will get an answer. The difficult questions are the one which is a time consuming. So where you may need more than a minute, but within 1 minute you may not be able to solve. So how to compensate that? So the first round question, which are so easy questions, you have to complete within lesser time, maybe within 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And then whatever time that's remaining, so definitely you need later to solve a difficult question. So this should be the order in which you have to complete. And most important, after attempting it, once you fill the OMR sheet, correct, make sure that you're going to put a tick mark. Otherwise, you will be wasting time to know which questions you have attempted and which questions you haven't attempted. So this, most of the students, they don't do it. So this is another important point. Once you attempt a question, once you get an answer, fill the OMR sheet very effectively, and then put a tick mark saying that that particular question is already attempted. So otherwise, what happens? You will attempt questions, and then later again you will sit and search whether you have attempted or not by looking at the OMR sheet. You'll be again wasting time. So you have to be do some kind of smart work, correct? Hard work, anyways, you are going to do it. You have done it already, correct? And you have to be smart enough even in the exam hall there. Right. Now, just to give again an example. So examples based on the physics subject are displayed here, and this is valid even for the other subjects as well. So in this case, the memory based question. So here there is nothing to calculate. There is nothing to. If you know the theory, you'll be able to answer, correct? So these are memory based questions. Time period directly proportional to n cubes, option A. That will not take more than 15 seconds. Immediately fill the OMR sheet. Correct? These are memory based questions where you're going to save a lot of time. The theory based question. So not just studying the formulas, correct? Not just memorizing the formulas. You should be good in your basic theories. So that's why we have given the theory questions. So these are important questions based on the theory that you have learned, correct? Again, these will not consume a second. So try to attempt these kind of questions in the round one. Okay. So here a positive hole is in a semiconductor is, it's option D, a vacancy created when an electron leaves a covalent bond. These are all questions, from the last year examination. Next we have substitution type, where only if you know the formula, you'll be able to solve these questions. Otherwise, you have to do the guess work, correct? Current in a coil, inductance is given, current is given. Use the formula E is equal to L into di by dt. Do the substitution. You will get an answer, correct? This is substitution type, where you can attempt this in the second round, where there is some paperwork, but you can avoid the formula. Don't write the formula. Write only the data which you get to see there, correct? And underline also, like, 0.2 Henry, underline. 5 ampere, underline 2 ampere, so that you'll come to know where the data is, correct? Easily you can recall, and then you can substitute and you can get an answer at the faster rate, okay? The next is application based, which is definitely time consuming. You need more than a minute. This is not based on the direct formulas, correct? Where some simplification, prism formula is used and some simplification. So whatever that time, which you save in attempting level 1 questions, correct? So level 1 in the sense which I mentioned, correct, under the first category, right? So there you'll get a lot of time, and all that you can preserve to solve this particular question. So these are the various types, the memory based, and even the graphical questions, also commonly asked question. Only if you are good in understanding, only if you have learned the basics of the graphs, you'll be able to attempt these kind of question, right? So hope you have understood the type of the question and the kind of the preparation which you have to do, especially from the exam part of it. Now regarding the approximation and calculation, this is now which you can go about the calculation, correct? So if you look at the 4 options, in all the 4 options we have 4 digits, correct? But here we have a number with the decimal. So what we do is we can cancel that, 15.5, you take it only 15. 15 fives are 75 in the denominator, and 30 by 5 is a 6. That means this number in which the answer starts anywhere from 6. So you can see out of the option, the number that with 6 is option B. So that's why 6200 is the answer, correct? So you can see approximation and calculation will help you to solve a number very easily. So don't sit and do the complete calculation. Approximate the number. Definitely you will able to attempt these equations. So this is just by practice. I told you your basic maths should be good, and all that will be useful in simplifying these kind of numericals. Okay, right. And there is a no negative mark, correct, for any of the question that you have. So that's why I suggest not to leave any question unanswered. Imagine within 70 minutes, at the end of 1 hour, you have attempted, let's consider about 40 questions. Okay, you could able to complete 40 questions, correct? And then what I recommend is the remaining 20 questions. Understood? For the remaining 20 questions, you can do some guesswork and then mark the options correct, either A or B or C or D, correct? Not all together, either A or B or C or D, and randomly mark and make sure that you are going to answer all the 60 questions. Why? Because there is no negative, you can try your luck. There's no negative mark. So that's why this is important point. Do that in all the 3 or 4 subjects, whichever subject you're going to appear. Do not leave any question. But you have to do this at the end of it, correct? When last 10 or last 5 minutes are remaining. Okay, this is an important point, especially only for the CET examination. Now, some of the students, they have lost marks because of the bad way of mark sheet, correct? So some of them, they mark it, just with the 1 dot. Some they put a tick mark. Some filling is done outside that circle. So therefore, this is also very important. You don't be in a hurry to fill that circle, fill the circle completely, and that filling has to be done using pen, not using the pencil. It has to be using the pen. Okay, that is very important. And the other mistake which normally the students they do is just attempt all the questions and then they leave that filling part at the end. Till last minute they'll be busy attempting the question. But you have to fill 60 dots. And if you try to fill that 60 dot within last 2 minutes or 3 minutes, the time definitely may not be enough to fill that OMR sheet. And examiner, they will not wait for you. They will literally pull the OMR sheet out of your hand. So important, moment you attempt a question, and if you're very sure of the answer, immediately fill the OMR sheet. Okay, attempting a question, filling the OMR sheet. Do this simultaneously. Don't wait till the end. Okay, because we have seen students losing mark for this reason, because they'll be busy attempting the question till the last minute. And as you all know, you have to fill all the 60 questions, right? 60 dots. And then again, it's not random. You have to refer the question and as well as the fill. That takes still more time, right? So therefore, don't follow that method because you may not get enough time. Okay, fine. So this is a very effective method of filling the OMR sheet. Right. Enough information and regarding CET, and then start preparing if at all you have not prepared. 50 days are more than enough. Be serious about the examination, students. Stop wasting time. Be away from using the mobile. So we have already wasted enough time for, again, because of the pandemic, correct, understood. Most of the students, they have lost interest in preparing for this examination. So I'm sure the next 50 days, if you utilize very effectively, and if you follow all this instruction which I've given, and spend 12 hours a day, make a timetable, spend at least 3 hours or 4 hours per subject, I'm sure you can do extremely well in the CET examination so that you can perform to your best. Okay, so my best wishes.
Uh, Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We have a lot of questions coming in from students, so let's try to take as many questions as possible in the limited time that we have.
Yeah.
And students, if you have questions as we go along, you can send it to the number that's displayed on your screen by WhatsApp. That is 82964901168. Okay, so let's take a few questions. We have Rushi Mayur, who is asking, I have studied 2 years only for NEET. Can I crack KCET
Okay.
in just 2 months?
Okay. Now, Mayur, see, as you all have already prepared last 2 years, the syllabus is same for the CET as well as the NEET. Moreover, the syllabus for the CET is actually lesser than that for the NEET, because for the NEET, each and every topic is included. For example, as I mentioned, polarization, radioactivity, it is part of the NEET syllabus, but it is not there for the CET. That means you have already done preparation. Definitely, undoubtedly, you can perform extremely well, but revise that very thoroughly. You can do extremely well in the examination. And best wishes, Mayur.
Yes, sir. Anirudh is asking, I think this is a very obvious answer, but let me just put it here anyway. Anirudh is asking, is mathematics exam in KCET compulsory exam for the students who are aiming for NEET and medical career?
See, first of all, for the medical, CET exam is not at all the criteria, right? So it's not the performance based on the CET which you get a seat. It's based on the NEET, correct? And it's very obvious, right? In the NEET exam, you have to focus basically on physics, chemistry, and the biology. But mathematics, what you have learned, correct, like the tools, for example, correct, is a very useful. So if you're not good in your integration or the differentiation, definitely you will struggle in physics in attempting a lot of physics questions. So that's why maths, even though it's not important, but it's a good tool, especially in physics.
Okay. So Benaka is asking, sir, last year and all, they were counting second PUC marks. What about that is 50% of second PU marks? What about this year?
Yeah, I've already mentioned this year it's purely your performance in CET decides your rank. So they are not going to consider any marks, which they are going to give soon based on your average marks scored in SLC and the first PUC, but that marks they won't consider. So that's why CET is the only criteria based on which the ranks are allotted this year.
There's a student called Sushil who's asking. He has two questions, in fact. One is how to improve speed for physics in KCET, and the second question is in physics, are previous year questions helpful?
Okay, so answer to the first question. This the student normally they struggle with the speed, right? One, they lack the basics. One, because of if they are not thorough with the formulas, correct? That is one. And I mentioned what and all is required. One, they are not thorough with the formula. The second one, they are not good in their basic mathematics. They don't know the basic tools like vector. If you are not good in vectors, obviously you'll find difficult in solving questions relevant to it. So that's why first learn these basics. Okay, first formulas, then the basic maths, and then the basic tools. Definitely you'll be able to solve questions at a faster rate. And
Okay, sir.
the second one, yeah, what was the question that was asked?
Whether previous year questions are useful in physics?
Yes, they are useful. So there are topics, I'll tell you, the questions may not be repetitive, but the topics they are going to repeat. Example, combination of the capacitor. The questions will be different based on that, but that's why by referring the previous year question, you'll get an entire idea as which are the topics based on which they will repeat the questions.
Okay. Abhiram is asking, sir, is expert
Yeah.
study material synopsis enough, or should we read the textbook?
See, we have given a very excellent in-depth study material, and I'm very sure that material is more than enough for the preparation for the KCET, all the 4 subjects. Okay.
Yes, sir. Now there is student Rahul who is asking whether it is more than enough to solve the last 7 years paper of CET, whether the previous years, earlier than last 7 years, was of other syllabus.
Okay. See, if you can identify some of the, because some of the topics are deleted, correct? If you refer question prior to 7 years, chapters which are still there, correct? But there are some chapter like condensed matter physics. Then there is a fundamental particles. All these chapters were there earlier. And if students unable to identify, correct, so he or she may prepare even those questions also. So that's why I suggested last 7 years. But if you can identify which are the questions, which are relevant to present syllabus, then definitely you can still refer questions of the previous year, which is beyond like 7 years. You can definitely refer.
Okay. Sir, Surag is asking, what is an ideal score to get a rank below 2000 for BTech?
Okay. Now again, ideal score when we are talking about, it has to be anywhere on an average of 55 out of 60, correct? Average of 55 in all the 3 subjects, maybe slightly more than that. In the range of 55 to 58. That depends on again how the tough paper is, but anywhere 55 is needed to get within that
Yes,
range.
I think because it's
In
a
all the three
relative
subjects.
scoring, it depends on the difficulty level of the question paper that year as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I said. It
correct.
depends on how tough paper is. Because if the paper is easy, then your score, you have to score almost maybe nearer to
Yes.
60. Correct.
So there's one very unique question. Myself, Daivik Padav, Which book should I
Yeah.
refer for KCET? Because I am from Mumbai, so I was preparing for Maharashtra CET.
Okay.
I have noted all the deleted portion of KCET,
Mm.
but I don't have the Karnataka state textbooks. Kindly guide me.
Uh, okay. Now see, uh, the few publication again. They have specifically uh, printed books for the KCET, okay, which is again, and then you can type that is books for KCET, which is available in most of the website. You can definitely uh, refer. Okay, so I don't want to again mention here again the publication, but do refer. Correct. There are books which are available, especially for the KCET. Okay, if you type uh, books, physics for KCET, it's available in most of the website. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
There's a student called Shreyas who is asking, sir, what is the ratio of easy to moderate and hard questions in a KCET paper?
Okay. Now, as such, there is no ratio, but most of the questions are easy to moderate, and there are less difficult questions are framed when we refer last 7-year questions. Okay, the difficult question levels are relatively lesser, maybe 10, and easy to moderate questions are relatively more in the CET examination.
Yes, sir. Aaron is asking, can you please give some information on Comet K exam if possible?
Uh, now, right now, I don't have again information as such as the date and the exam pattern. So maybe I will get back to him later. Once I collect some information
Sure,
regarding the
sir. I
comment.
think their website would be
Okay.
the right place
Yeah.
to start as well for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Correct. Correct. Exactly. Exactly.
Now, okay, we have a question from Anirudh Joshi. He says, due to tough competition
Yeah.
without PUC marks for
Yeah.
CET, how much score should be made to get rank less than 250?
uh, Less than 250, correct. See, that time I'd suggested about 55 for 2000. Maybe less than 250 is somewhere, anywhere nearer to 60, correct. Understood. Maybe 58, 59 in all the three subjects will score. Again, as you mentioned, Ankush, it's a relative merit or how difficult the paper is. But otherwise, scoring anywhere nearer to 58 to 58, 59, or maybe full, correct, will get you within that
I think
marks, because there will be plenty of students, correct, no,
yes,
who are trying for the same score,
I
right?
think I would suggest the student not to aim for less than 250 or less than 2000. Aim for the first rank. So aim to get the highest possible marks.
Okay, you have given the best suggestion. Best suggestion. That is the
Correct,
best
sir.
suggestion. Yeah.
Now we
Don't think of any other
yeah.
number. Correct.
We have a student from Valachil who is asking, okay, there is some part which you have already covered, that is the last week strategy, that is few days before the exam. But specifically, the student asks how to revise physics in the last few days of any competitive exam quickly, just looking into formulas or solving numericals. And also, what should be
Yeah.
the enough number of questions to practice daily per subject according to you?
Okay. Yeah. See, as I've mentioned, like you will get about 3 hours per subject, correct? 3 hours. And for that particular 3 hours, if you 30 questions an hour, on an average total, you may get 100. So for 3 hours plan, 100 questions on daily basis. 100 questions. Because for the CT, the questions are relatively easier. They are not difficult questions like the NEET or for the GA level. So you can plan 100 questions a day. And then regarding the preparation, to sit and solve questions, but rather revise the formulas and then the better to revise the entire formulas and then the theory, correct? That's synopsis, okay? Where it covers the theory as well as the formulas. So therefore, better to revise rather than sitting and solving questions prior to the examination. So that's what I recommend everyone.
Yes, sir. Raj is asking, sir, I have not prepared for mathematics. What should be my strategy to at least score 30 to 40 marks in KCET mathematics? I know all the concept of mathematics, but I didn't prepare for the KCET MCQs.
Okay. See, as I've again mentioned, 50 days are there. That 50 days are definitely more than enough to reach your target. So prepare on daily basis. Since you know the concept, I don't think you'll find difficult in attempting these objective questions. Okay, so plan, prepare a timetable, and if you have done your preparation in the other two subjects, okay, then allot more hours, for the mathematics, so that you can complete the task before 28th of the next month.
Sir, the Rishi Mayur is asking another question. Should we study H.C. Verma for KCET physics?
Uh, See, HC Vama, okay, definitely it's a helpful for theory, but as of now, if you sit and refer that, you may need more time to solve. So therefore, I don't suggest as of now. But if you had referred it already, correct, maybe just 1 year or 2 year back, then I would have suggested to refer, but not at this moment. So right now, focus on solving the revising the synopsis and solving the objective questions. So few objective questions are there in that HC Verma, you can solve them, but not the descriptive type of question, because those type of questions are normally meant for either NEET or for the GA exam.
Yes. Prajwal GS is asking, sir, can you say how students of first PU can prepare for CET? How they can start preparing right now?
Okay, right. So see, the method is the same. If at all you are in the first year or you have completed the first year, correct? Start from again the basics. If you are 1 year syllabus which you have already completed, correct? Start from the chapter 2, which is the units and the measurement. First, revise the entire theory. Make sure that you know each and every point regarding the theory or the concept, and then start attempting the question, maybe previous year questions or from the exemplar, which is first learn the basics, but before that try to learn even the fundamental tools also, because that is what we are going to use almost in each and every chapter. Okay, so you can still start preparing right now. The strategy remains the same: theory and then practicing the questions.
Yes. Now we have a student from our Kodialbel campus who's asking uh, how to build self-confidence so that I can have a constant mind throughout the CET exam.
Okay, yeah. uh, so first of all, make sure that you have done a good preparation, correct? That itself give you a good confidence. Without preparing, and then if you try to be yourself confident, it's not possible. So I'm sure you have done your preparation well. Then uh, always you try to yourself saying that I have done well and I'm going to perform well in the coming examination yourself, correct? And then have a confidence that till the last moment, correct? So don't lose your confidence. So be cool that since you have prepared already, that you're going to perform well in the examination, correct? And then whenever you get a break, correct, when you take break from the preparation, correct, so you can relax, you can listen to soft music, which keeps you calm and cool, correct? So that's what I suggest. And then but at the same time, be what is that continue your preparation till the last moment. Okay, don't stop preparing for the exam.
Yes, sir. Uh, the planning and preparation is very, very important and key to having a cool mind. Now, Archan is asking,
Correct.
I have a point notes which are quite lengthy, which may not help me at the end. Is it the right time to prepare a notes of 2 to 3 pages for each chapter?
Now, when we say notes, we are not talking about the detailed version of it. Even though I'd suggested to maintain a notebook. Now, it's not exactly the detailed version. You take a concept, right? In that, what are the important points that comes, which you have already given it in our synopsis, correct? So our synopsis itself is a good notebook, to prepare. I'm talking about the additional points that you come across. You can make a note of it. I'm not writing the entire theory or the derivation. Okay, only the important points. Okay, fact figures, the variation, some properties, all that. We are not talking about the writing the entire the derivation parts or the notes, but notebook definitely required, because later, just prior to the examination, it will help you to revise the topic very quickly.
Yes, sir. We have a lot of questions coming in. We are really we have exceeded the time, but I think there are good questions, so we will take a few minutes to cover as many as we can. Sir,
Yeah.
student Joshua Jacob T is asking, sir, would you recommend us to solve questions from NCERT textbook as a part of our preparation for KCET 2021?
Yes, you can do it, right? You can do it, because see, sometimes what they do is the same subjective question is converted into objective, provided you don't get the final answer is a fraction. So definitely you can refer, because that makes your concept also stronger. But if it is too much time consuming, then don't solve it. Okay. But if there are easy questions, direct substitution questions are there, you can refer it. But my suggestion is NCERT exemplar, correct, is a uh, best book to refer, correct, than the textbook. But if there's enough time, yes, you can solve.
Yes, sir. This Supriya is asking, sir, is it an advantage or disadvantage regarding board marks not being taken in KCET 2021?
Now, it's actually, see, for the students, correct. Some students, they are good in preparing the board exam, correct. So because they can just memorize and they can write in the exam, correct. And their application skill is not that good. For them, it's disadvantages. But the students, who are good in preparing, for the competitive examination, for them it's advantageous. So therefore, it's advantages, disadvantage depending on the student skill. So don't worry about advantage, disadvantages. You prepare well for the competitive exam and do your best. That is what I suggest.
Satvik has a very practical question. I think it will be a very useful thing. Should we mark in blue pen or in black pen?
Okay. Uh, Black is recommended, I believe, correct, because when because since we are using an OMR, through that it reads faster, so that's why black is relatively recommended. But again, you can go for the blue as well. Whichever is
Yes.
your favorite color, you go for it.
Satvik is also asking, should we study the explanation and daily test questions? I think he's an expert student and we have the daily phase 3 tests. So he's asking, should we study those questions and the explanations of that as well?
Yes, definitely, because see, that will give you a good practice on a daily basis. So uh, variety of the questions will come to know, correct, because your preparation will not be restricted to only certain number of questions, correct. So every day if you write these kind of the test, so that will definitely, you will be exposed to variety of the, as I've already suggested, practice as many questions as possible. That's why definitely do write these tests. They are very useful.
Okay, sir. So there's one student who is asking, is it possible to get below 1000 rank by working for the last 50 days very effectively?
uh, Definitely. Now that depends on how good you prepare, correct. So the next 50 days, that's what I've told you, are very crucial. Still you can aim at getting a rank within that. That depends on how effective. Instead of the 12 hours, slightly increase the number of hours. Okay. So you may get more time to prepare well, and it's possible. So everything is possible. That depends on us, correct, how effectively we work towards our goal.
Yes, sir. Sir, Ananya is asking, sir, since multiple people get marks close to 60 in each subject, how are tiebreakers decided in KCET?
Okay. See, one, if it is for the engineering, actually, like, when it comes to PCM, correct. So they opt based on the marks in individual subject, okay, physics, chemistry, and then the maths, correct. And Whereas when it comes to PCB, so there they prefer the biology marks, because when they get if the marks are equal, correct, then I think age is considered as the criteria to give the rank. If it is age, otherwise, yeah, that is the only criteria based on the elder one will get the first priority.
Right.
If the marks are equal in all the three subjects.
Okay, sir. So Sandesh is asking, sir, while I'm writing mock tests, I could not get answers for some questions, but after a while after the test, if I try, I get the answer. So what can I do to avoid this? Can you please give a suggestion?
Okay, now see this. Okay, this will happen, with because you are not exposed to variety of the questions. So that's why my suggestion is, before the examination, attempt as many types of questions possible, because by then you'll be covering a large variety of the questions. Okay, because every day when you attempt a new paper, there will be a new questions, correct, but obviously when you attempt these kind of questions for the next 50 days, correct, you will get to know variety of the questions. So that's why we can't avoid that actually, but definitely but analyze it, for what reason you have made mistakes. So what is the reason why you are not able to that will definitely help you to attempt many similar questions if you come across in future. Okay.
Yes, sir. Uh, so now there's a student called Rakesh who's asking, will the question paper be tough this year since board exams will not be considered?
See, we can't predict whether it's easy or tough, but every year the question paper is normally it's moderate. It's not difficult based on the last 7 years. Uh, that is the kind of the paper which they have set. It's always a moderate paper, and it's a good paper. Okay, good competitive paper. So we cannot predict, whether it's an easy paper or so. You focus on your preparation. Whatever may be the difficulty level of the paper, you will be able to perform well in the examination. So it depends on your preparation. You prepare in such a way that whether they ask easy or moderate or difficult, you will be able to score good. So that is what you have to aim at, rather than worrying about whether it's a tough or an easy paper.
So Dhanya is asking how to prepare in a combined way for both NEET and CET.
Uh, See, the preparation is the same. So only difference is, for the NEET exam, you may be attempting slightly higher level questions. So that's it. The theory is the same, correct? But again, make sure that some of the topics are not part of the CET syllabus. So the NEET preparation itself is a good preparation for the CET. But prepare very thoroughly, very effectively, and make sure that you're going to attempt a large variety of questions in all the subjects.
Right. We're getting a lot of questions, but we will take a last couple of questions. A lot of students have been sending some questions which are kind of repetitions of what we have already answered. If
Okay.
you think you missed the answer there, students, after this session is over, the replay of the entire video is available, and then you can forward to the parts that you might have missed, and you can watch it later on. And I'm sure your questions will be answered there. Now, Anant is asking, so should I concentrate on covering the entire syllabus or studying the important chapters in depth?
Okay. Now, see, if your aim is to score maximum, then make sure that you're going to study the entire syllabus. Okay. But while preparing, give more weightage, for the chapters from which normally the questions appear more. But do study the entire syllabus, because only then you will be able to score 60 out of 60. Correct?
Yes, sir. Last couple of questions. We have student Kiran who is asking, sir, I have prepared for board exam but not for CET. What shall I do?
Okay. So time to start your preparation today itself. Correct? If at all you have not done it, still 50 days, more than enough. Don't lose concentration. Correct? Concentrate, focus. Correct? Important points which I had mentioned. Correct? Don't get distracted by all the other activities. 12 hours a day, So definitely will take you to your right destination.
So, last question for today's session. I think one student is
Yeah.
asking for BSc Agriculture and is maths marks considered?
Okay. Now, for farm science, correct. For the farm science, it's the average is based on the PCME, correct.
Correct.
So therefore, definitely they are going to consider the average of the marks. Math. Yeah. So I'll just confirm that. Yes. For farm science, it is the PCMB, correct. For farm science, they take the average of physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. So maths is important for
Correct.
BS agriculture.
I told the previous question will be the last, but there's one very interesting question. I think that would be a nice question to end on because I'm sure a lot of
Okay.
students do follow this strategy, but we don't know if it
Okay.
is right. Maybe you can shed some light on it, sir. So Sandesh is
Yeah.
asking, in KCT exam, for example, I solve 45 questions, and in that I get any one option the least, like for example B. Then for the remaining, can I
Oh,
mark option B?
okay. Now here, you can follow any of the rule, but as you all know, correct, that is there is no particular strategy for it. If you feel that if B is the correct answer, it may work or it may not work because it's, all the questions options are given random, correct. So if you feel that is anyways you are trying your luck, correct, so you can go for that, whether it's B or C. Okay, so I read somewhere that is C. Okay, is the option which is normally most of the questions it appear. Again, I don't believe that. This is what I read somewhere. Correct. So therefore, you can select any of the alphabet that you like, either A or B or C or D. Okay, I like B there. Okay, so best wishes from B.
Sir, thank you so much for giving us your time and motivating our students, giving important tips and techniques for them to excel in the upcoming CET exams. And we are very happy that you agreed to be a part of this program. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, I thank you, Ankush, and I thank Professor Narendra L. Naik for giving me opportunity to interact with all the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Viewers, today at 5 p.m. we have another talk by our own faculty and IITN Professor Prashant Sahai on how to prepare for NEET 2021. It will be a live talk just like this where you can ask your questions and hope that all of you participate and be very active just like you have been in this session. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.